Alright guys, so I'm going to be doing a new comic book review, and this comic does come from my good friend Chris. Chris, thank you once again for sending me this comic. And today we're going to be doing Cthulhu Invades Wonderland, a comic literally I don't think anyone asked for, but everyone deserves. This is a comic that came from a independent group called Orange Cone Productions, and basically this is a... what it is a overarching story, but it's really told through a bunch of little short, one-and-done, like little anthologies that all interconnect. This is also the second book of a trilogy, which is, the first one is Cthulhu Invades Oz, and the third book, which is coming out, will be Cthulhu Invades Neverland. So, yeah. So, Cthulhu Invades Wonderland is, when you at first thought, you're like, this makes no sense. This crossover is dumb. Like, why would you even do that? And then you do think about it and give it a little more thought. And then Cthulhu Invades Wonderland makes for a more interesting story than you think. Because Cthulhu Invades Wonderland is literally a comic that makes more sense than you think by not making sense at all. The whole point of the Cthulhu H.P. Lovecraft mythos is madness. It's supposed to be, absolute insanity at things you cannot explain. And Lewis E. Carroll does the same thing with the Wonderland stories. They're really just, they make no sense, but there is sense in making no sense. Like, there's a method to the madness. So really, it's kind of perfect of having H.P. Lovecraft and Carroll together in doing those two universes together and mishmashed. I would have loved to have seen the first book, Cthulhu Invades Oz. I really would love to get the Cthulhu Invades Oz book after reading this. Also, if you're wondering, do you need to read the Oz book to understand this story? Actually, not really. You could really just read this, and it does make references to the Oz story, especially at the end. But it really... And also it does make some reference to, going to Neverland in the next book. But, yeah... This book could really be read in its own way. So, like I said, it's there is a interconnecting story, but it's told through the perspective of all these little one and done like anthology stories. But it all has an overarching story. The main story is that Cthulhu, after ravaging Oz, has now set his sights on Wonderland, a new world to conquer. And he and the Great Old Ones need a way in there. The way in there is through the Mad Hatter, because his madness is so perfect, it literally gives them the gateway to enter Wonderland, and it leads to a civil war in the depths of Wonderland between the forces of the Mad Hatter and Alice, who has teamed up with the Red Queen to save Wonderland from the brand of madness that Cthulhu brings. It's actually kind of smart. Like, there's a lot of deep thinking in this book where it talks about, Wonderland is a mad world, but that brand of madness that Cthulhu brings is almost unnatural to them. But some of them see it as the perfect insanity. Like, some of them really do see it as like the perfect insanity, such as the Mad Hatter, who really does see this as like the greatest opportunity of all time. Like, it's the ultimate, it's the ultimate form of madness is Cthulhu, and through that madness he thinks he'll achieve great things. So it's kind of cool. It's really cool, like, how these writers play with even some really deep cuts in Lewis E. Carroll's lore. Like, again, they talk about all the short stories, they do all of these really, like, there are some obscure characters too that showed up in both Alice in Wonderland and Alice Behind the Looking Glass. Like, there is a lot of characters in here, and they really do utilize them a lot. Obviously talking about, like, the Red Queen, Alice herself, the March Hare, all of them. But then there's other characters too, like the Dodo, the Walrus and the Carpenter, the Knot Turtle. All of these characters are literally utilized in phenomenal ways. Like, they're told throughout phenomenal stories. Not a lot. There is some horror and a lot of disturbing elements. I think the one that is the most creepiest is the story with the walrus and the carpenter. It really feels like pure Lovecraft. That story with the walrus and the carpenter really does feel like pure, unadulterated Lovecraft in that story. So I really like that one. I really did enjoy that story more than the other, or one of the most. I really did enjoy all of them. This comic also has a lot of death in here. There are some serious character deaths in here. There's also like a war between Tweedledee and Tweedledum because they both choose different sides, so it's like a civil war thing between the brothers. There's also stuff that happens with the Cheshire Cat. There's a big reveal with the Cheshire Cat that I'm not going to reveal. There's a big, like, holy shit reveal, 2 of them, really, with the Cheshire Cat that I'm not gonna reveal here. But they do bring in, like, the Dodo, the Jabberwock shows up, like, the Bandersnatch, the Caterpillar plays a role. There's some... Also, we have the Red King from Alice in Wonderland, who... They actually, like, make really kind of, like, godlike in here. They really make him, like, kind of pretty godlike. And he encounters Hastur, the King in Yellow. It's a really cool story. I really enjoyed that one. I thought it was a lot of fun. And it goes in a way you didn't think it would. Like, that's what I really appreciate, is that it goes in such a way you didn't think was possible. So, do I recommend Cthulhu Invades Wonderland? Yeah, I really do. I really enjoyed this. It was actually, despite how... This is a beefy book. This is a pretty beefy book, but I really tore through this pretty quick. So, if you're looking for something fun and out there, this book just came out. I think it got made through Kickstarter. This was a book that literally... was something I was not expecting to be anything of note, but I turned out to be really enjoying it. I really quite enjoyed this, and I really want to get Cthulhu Invades Oz and in the Cthulhu versus Neverland story. And I'm kind of hoping we get more books with that, but really there's only so many hidden lands that you can do with Cthulhu that are in public domain. One I think would be kind of cool is maybe do it in the world of the Nutcracker. I think that'd be kind of cool if Cthulhu invading there, like battling the Rat King and the Nutcracker and all that. Or I don't know if Narnia is in public domain. That'd be Cthulhu Invades Narnia would be really cool, but again, I don't know if that's in public domain or not, so I can't say. I would love to see like Cthulhu Invades the world of Gulliver, like Lilliput. That'd be really fun. I would love to see Cthulhu in the Jungle Book. That would be some really fun stuff. And I know I'm forgetting some others, like in public domain ones, but maybe like Cthulhu Invades Wonderland. I mean London, but it's all like these London characters, like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and Sherlock Holmes, and maybe Dracula's in there too. Dorian Gray. That'd be fun. So yeah. Chris, know you're watching this. Thank you so much for introducing me to this book. I was not expecting to love it as much as I did, but I highly recommend Cthulhu Invades Wonderland, 100%. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.